Hey, coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D with the 1970 Kennedy half dollar. And there it is right there. This is a huge coin. We don't use the half dollars very much, and you almost never get them in change. In fact, a lot of people don't even, at stores, they don't even have a change drawer for the halves. They have to put them under or to the side. Compared to the US penny, we're talking about just a huge coin. Of course, it's worth 50 times as much. Actually, the 1970 is worth even more than that, because in 1970 they were still making a half dollar with some silver in it. Last year, of the 40% silver half dollars, of course, they came out with the Kennedy halves in 64, and here's a 64, and in 64 it was 90% silver, so these have a lot more silver in them. But from 65 to 70, they changed it to 40% silver. And here is all of the mint set half dollars from 1970. And usually you buy a US mint set and it has all the Phillies, has all the Denvers. Oh, this is it. No Phillies from 1970. If you're a mint mark collector, and you collect either the P's, the D's, or the S's and try to follow them through, you already know that from 1965 until 1967 there were no mint marks on any US coins. But did you know that every Kennedy half after 1968 to 1970 had a mint mark? Yep, it did. It either had the D or the S. They didn't mint any Kennedy halves at Philadelphia in 1968, 1969, or 1970. And we look under here and we see there's another mark here. And of course, that's for Gilroy Roberts, G facing to the left, Roberts R facing to the right. And he was the engraver of the front of these coins. And you look right there and you see this kind of tracks. Well, I'll show you what those tracks come from. Those tracks come from the side. Let me see if I can get it in here. Right there. So those tracks are actually, see what happens when another Kennedy half hits it during the minting process. This coin looks pretty good, and it should, because you couldn't get this in general circulation. There was two ways you could get a 1970 Kennedy half. You could buy the proof set, which was also 40% silver, which had an S on it, or you could buy the mint set, which had all the Philadelphia coins except for the half. So it had the penny, Philly, nickel, dime, Philly quarter. All right, so if we turn it over, let's see what's on the back. United States of America at the top, half dollar at the bottom. We have this wonderful kind of eagle. It's holding the banner. It says E Pluribus Unum. 9 stars over the top, 4 down here. That's for the 13 stars. If you go all around the outside, you'll see that there are 50 stars around the outside, and that the eagle is holding an olive branch in its right claws and arrows in its left claws. And way down here underneath its left claws, to our right, of course, is an F and a G. And these are the ones that, once some of these mints, you have a hard time seeing the F and the G, and there's actually some coins that don't have it because it got a little, they had too much stuff on the die and it didn't come through. So F and a G, that's for Frank Gasparo, who was the engraver of these coins. Speaking of reeds, if we tip this up, there are 150 of these reeds that go around the outside of this. And this coin right here is a relatively heavy coin too. It weighs 12.5 grams. When they moved to the copper nickel clad copper, they had a lower, 11.5 grams. When they moved to the copper nickel clad copper in 1971, they actually had a much lower weight. So instead of 11.5, it went to 11.34. And here's a 1971, and you can tell the difference. There's a 71, but just tip them up and you know this is a copper nickel clad copper. No silver in it at all, just a copper nickel cladding over a copper center. There were other countries that had half dollars. Certainly Canada, we've looked at the Canada half dollar, and a number of other countries. But in 1968, Great Britain or the United Kingdom actually came out with their version of the half dollar, and that was the 50 pence coin. So in 1971, which was the first year of total decimalization, where 1 pence equals 1/100th of a pound, the 1971, the half-dollar or half-pound coin was the 50 new pence, and we have it right here. And of course, there's Queen Elizabeth, who recently passed, on the front. That's the Arnold Machin second portrait of Queen Elizabeth wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Just a beautiful portrait, and I believe this is the 39-year-old Queen. This portrait, she was 39 when she sat for this portrait, for the first came out in 1968, but the 71 was the year that they went to total decimalization. All right, so how much are these worth? Well, the 1970 Denver coin, they have one of them that's graded at mint state 67 plus. Remember, even though it only came out in a mint set, it's still rated as an MS. It's not a proof. So an MS 67 plus, they have one of these sold for PCGS says it's worth $20,000. In the S or San Francisco Mint proof coins, and we don't have one of those here, they have 345 that rated proof 69. That's a lot. So they made 2.6 million total, and of those, 345 are almost perfect, and they sell for about $325. They only have one at MS67 plus for these coins, and that one, they rate that at $20,000. All right, so that's all we have today from Big D Coins. Love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.